Hello, everybody, and welcome to Music Industry Insights Worldwide. Happy New Year. If you haven't already, please do like, share, and subscribe. Today, we have the awesome CerVon with us. Hi, how are you?
I'm great. I hope you are too.
Really well, thank you. Happy New Year to you. I really appreciate your time and your expertise. Thanks for coming along and talking to us about your journey. Do you want to tell the listeners a little bit more about yourself, what you do, and where you're from?
I'm from South Carolina. I make music and I do stand up, moving more into the writing stuff. But yeah, I'm mainly kind of a pop act.
Awesome. And how long have you been doing that for?
Going on a decade. It's been a minute.
Awesome. So it takes you a little while to obviously build that fan base and to get yourself established in the industry, so, shall we say. And you're not just a musician,
hmm
also a screenwriter and a playwright. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I have worked on a couple of projects and kind of been putting my foot on stuff here and there, and that's a big part of my goal for this year to kind of move into
Oh, good
more
luck.
into.
Awesome. And
Thank you.
I'll sit down in South Carolina at the moment. We're based in London, so we always like to figure out how it is around different parts of the world.
Well, here it is definitely depends on the time of day. So right now it's really cold. Later on it could be sunny and hot. It is kind of a flip a coin here.
Oh, okay, that's all right. That's cool. At least it's better than here because it's freezing, freezing cold. So, do you want to tell us a little bit more about how you got into the music industry and you got all the skills that you've got right now?
My start in music was from stand up. I was doing stand up first, and I kind of started to dabble in poetry a little bit, and from there I started to write for people. And when writing for people, I was doing demos, kind of show them like, hey, I think this would be a good idea for the song. And if somebody didn't want to use it, then it was like, okay, I'm gonna kind of do it myself. And I just kept going from there.
Great. And did you have a musical education or a background, or has it just been a passion of yours from the beginning?
No, I built the passion. I'll say that it kind of came out of nowhere. It was like at first it was really scary. Like, I don't think I want to do this.
Right.
And then it was kind of like, okay, I'm having fun with this. And I kind of built it up from there.
Interesting. So, kind of, if you've got some tips and hints to pass to someone who's just starting out in the industry, they're you 10 years ago, what kind of advice would you give to them?
The biggest thing that I have learned in music is make exactly what you like, no matter how weird it is. Just make sounds that you like because you will hear it the most. You're gonna
Yeah,
have to perform it, you're gonna have to live with it. So make it exactly what you want it to sound like.
great advice. I love that. And be authentic as well, right?
Exactly. I think not being authentic is what ruins a lot of people's careers and their time in any industry.
100%, 100%. And obviously, being in South Carolina and being a Black gentleman that you are, like, what kind of issues and barriers have you faced accessing the music and entertainment industries?
In music specifically, I have run into the problem of just like, when you have a certain fan base, you kind of feel a little bit different. So when I first started in music, I had a predominantly white fan base.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that that bothered me, but you do want to feel, a part of your own culture.
Yes.
So now being older and I have a blend of, both, now my main thing is the discrimination and opportunities. Like
Right.
where I'm from, the most popular music venue, they are not very friendly to black artists and they're kind of obvious about it. And being in my home place and it's the big place here, it's kind of like a goal to have been there, but you miss out on stuff and some stuff and you grow and you find better opportunities. So there's some hits and there's some misses here and there, but it's always a opportunity to pivot.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's really great advice that you give, but I'm really sorry to hear that there's still some issues around discrimination. And how do you face that? And how do you kind of overcome that and build that community regardless of how other people see you or judge you?
At first, I was really loud about it, just being angry, like, hey, like, this was my experience with them. I believe this is a race issue.
Yeah.
And then I got the idea to step away and be like, if I can't get the opportunities I want, I need to make the opportunities that I want. So I started creating these showcases, giving artists the opportunity to come and perform. I started scheduling my own shows and stopped waiting for people to give me opportunity. And that was a big push for making me, I would say, giving me somewhat success for being online because years ago, I insecurities got me to where I just didn't want to travel and I didn't want to tour.
Yeah.
So I moved to the internet and I, built my following that way. And it's just, you hit a wall and you have to kind of curve and find whatever you can make work for yourself.
I love that perseverance and dedication. And that's one of the reasons why I started this show as well. Understanding that there's a lack of opportunities for a lot of underrepresented and disadvantaged communities, but to also
Hmm.
provide an opportunity for myself, but to share other people's messages on the platform. So, I think it's all about not giving up and persevering and following your heart. And that's certainly what I'm getting from you.
Yeah, that is exactly kind of what I push and what I want my message to be.
And if it doesn't work in a certain way, you can always try it a different way, which is what you kind of said with the social media. So, how did that impact
Hmm.
you and the way you feel about yourself and obviously your career starting out?
It definitely gave me a lot of insecurities that I am making it my mission to focus on this year, where moving to doing stuff predominantly on the internet, I got a lot of attention that I guess I wasn't ready for and I didn't know how to manage. So being from the UK, Labyrinth.
Yes, I do. Yeah, I love Labyrinth.
Labyrinth was he was one of the first like punches for me. Labyrinth followed me on Instagram and I became terrified to post where it was like, oh, I'm so scared to be online.
Yeah,
And I had to kind of pivot and figure out a way to, still be able to be myself and market to people while
yeah.
being online and being scared of who will see and if they'll like me and if they don't.
And what they think about you, right? Because I think there's also that element of you judging yourself, but other people judging you, being vulnerable.
Mhm.
How did you deal with that? And how do you deal with your self-confidence issues and building that up?
I think I started with like trying to force myself to be humble, and then forcing myself to be humble created an idea that, some things might not be good enough to me. And now now I just have to kind of tell myself like, I'm overthinking it. Like this is good. Like I like it and it's okay to like it.
Yeah,
And I have a thing. I hate to show my face online. Like I hate posting pictures and stuff, but like if I like an image and I feel like, hey, I like this outfit, I like this, then I have to kind of really push myself like, no, like it's okay. Doesn't matter if somebody unfollows you, you just kind of have to
good on you.
push through. And that's something I'm working on right now.
Yeah. I think that's something that we all struggle with as well, is that image, our self-image, but also aligning that image with our sound and our style of music, which I think
Hmm.
is really awesome. Like if you want to look at equality, diversity, inclusion at the moment over in South Carolina or even in the US in the music industry, how do you find that we're doing at the moment and what could we do to improve?
I think it's growing. I feel like there has always been a community and little subgroups in my area that has done music and done different things that I want to be a part of. I just didn't know how to get into them, so I created my own. And in creating my own, I've gotten access to these other groups and seeing the community it's really great. I think the main issue that South Carolina has is we have a lot of talent. There's a lot of talents and people here, but we all have this mindset of we're in competition with each other.
Yes,
So there's no there's community, but there's no uplifting also.
collaboration. Yeah. I get you. It's a bit like sports, isn't it? And I think this is where sometimes the
Hmm.
music industry goes wrong. Everyone's trying to compete with each other rather than collaboration and community, which I think is the way forward. So
I fully agree.
is there a lot of places in South Carolina where you can go and network, you can meet new people, you can collaborate, you can build community from the grassroots up? Is there a lot of that happening where you are right now?
It is. I'm seeing it more. If you would have asked me that last year, I would have said no. But I'm finding these new spaces and I just never had the information and the knowledge where it's a lot of other, like-minded people and they are supportive. The people I've met in the past were just one-off bad experiences. But South Carolina is changing a lot and it's really, really great to see and be a part of.
Yeah, we've obviously had this massive political shift in the US at the moment, with Biden and Trump and so on, and Kamala Harris. So, how do you think cultural and age differences have an impact on the equality, diversity, inclusion we can achieve right now? And do you think that's hindered by people's ages and the way they judge other cultures?
I would say yeah, because with age, a lot of things were normalized that we are now looking at and being like, this is actually wrong. This
Yes.
is not okay. And with that, my belief has always been kind of like, DIY, you kind of have to do stuff yourself. So like with everything going on politically and with, race always being a factor, I think everybody has a level of a gut feeling of discernment to be like, this area isn't good for me. I need to move away from here and kind of find, like-minded people, but also know how to carry yourself and know when you're in the right place, know when you're not, because South Carolina, there's still sundown towns and there's still a lot of dangerous places and a lot of dangerous mindsets and a
Mm.
lot of judgment. I'm black, but my nails are painted and I have dangly earrings. I just had a lot of comments on TikTok about that. And
Mm.
it's like kind of have to know when to let stuff, fall off your shoulders and
Yeah.
kind of, push on.
That's all you can be is you, right? You don't want to be somebody else. You don't want to fit a mold that everyone else kind of can be. You want to be unique. And I think that's what you're bringing to the table is your own uniqueness and your personality and your style, which I think is awesome.
Thank you. I think a big thing that a lot of people misunderstand is you don't have to change people's mind. You just have to, stick to yourself and be yourself. So with politics, with race, you not everybody's going to like you, not everybody is going to agree with you, and that's okay. I met a woman, I would say like 2 or 3 years ago now, maybe 2 years ago, and she was married to a grand wizard of a KKK
Right.
um
Oh, wow.
organization, whatever.
Yeah.
And I had a great conversation with her, and everything that she said, all of her beliefs are fully just like how she was raised. It's her parents. It's the people she was around. I want to say she's like a 70-some-year-old woman. So
Right.
like she's too old to be violent with me, so she could only just talk.
Thank
And
God.
she was as polite as you can be,
Yeah.
as and it was some little like microaggressions and little stuff she said that was can be taken offensive, but it gave me a good understanding where it's like inside she is a good person.
Yeah.
If I was white, she probably would have been the sweetest lady. But even being black, it was like she was fighting to be nice. Like you can tell in her voice,
Yeah.
like her heart wasn't in it. Like you could tell some stuff she is just kind of stuck with. It's installed in her. She can't get away from.
But you being you has kind of planted a seed in her mind that actually she's had a conversation with you. She's been educated by you. She's learned things from you, which she can then go away and digest and think, actually, do you know what? I can kind of get this guy's mindset and I can get why this guy is the way he is. And I think that's the beautiful part of being unique and different.
Exactly. I think we all need to just be able to kind of, I want to say, listen. I think if you can, even if you don't agree, just kind of like take in other people's point of view. I think that'll shift your thinking a lot.
Yeah. And I think music has always been on the forefront of changing culture and influencing culture in the right ways. Do you think we're doing a good enough job of that at the moment? Or do you think we could be doing more to kind of open that and have that more educational dialogue?
I think the path is laid, and I think it's a good like direction because if you think of somebody who is homophobic and they don't like androgyny and they don't like anything in that area, if you listen to their like music taste, they love Gap Band, they love Prince,
Yeah.
and these are androgynous artists. Prince, he wore women's clothing, and that was okay for him. But then they see our generation, and it's like, oh no, that's weird. It's like everybody has a bit of like contradictive thinking. So it's like even in their heart, they know something's right or wrong and they agree. They just, try to go against it. So I think in music, we have these artists who are bold and they do their thing. Like you have your David Bowies, who is just so, themselves. Or like my favorite artist right now, Tizo,
Yeah.
they push the lines of fashion and sound to where when you hear it, when you see it and you like it enough, you start to kind of change like, oh man, maybe I'm not racist. Maybe I'm not this just because it's like, this is really cool. I like that. And I think that's the thing that has been very dangerous. And I hate to say white males, but it's mainly them
It's me.
where they see other demographics and they're so authentically themselves, but they have this path that it's like their father and their father before them told them like, hey, you have to do this. You have to do this. And that installed thinking makes them dangerous because it's like, I want to be gay, but I can't because my family and this, that, and this, and that makes them act out. That makes them
Yeah.
homophobic. That makes them racist.
100%. 100%. And me being a trans woman as well, a multiracial trans woman in the UK, I also face my own challenges and stigma, shall we say. So you being in the music industry, how has that affected your mental health and your well-being? You've obviously touched on your confidence issues. Has there been any other issues that you faced, like just being you as an artist and bringing that to the forefront?
There's the bit of like, wanting to appeal to other people. So sometimes I'll shift my sound a little bit because who I'm around and who I'm trying to push to. But then there's also like opportunity wise where it's like, um, if I'm asked to perform with certain artists, it's like I don't feel comfortable like trying to rap. I have to make my songs sound like them, and you
Yeah,
try to fit into their boxes. So there's always that challenge. But now where I'm at in music, it kind of motivates me to be like, everybody is sounding like this. Everybody's looking like this. I gotta kind of go this way. I gotta stand out. I gotta find my
yeah.
own route there.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that's part of it, isn't it? It's being unique and authentic and finding your.
Hmm.
I think sometimes that does take time in that development stage. So obviously you've been doing this for quite a while now. Have you
Hmm.
faced stigma and discrimination? I know you've talked about the venue. Has there been any other instances of discrimination or stigma that you've had to deal with or face as an artist, or even in the entertainment industry?
Yeah, something I didn't talk about it a lot when it happened, and I blame myself for that. But 2020, I was attacked by a cop and I was hit, and that left me with a lot of questions for myself where I was really mad at white people. I was really mad at the people I thought were my friends at the time.
Yeah,
And that changed my thinking of just becoming more stronger in myself and my culture. Facing stuff like that, like I still get really weird around cops. If I get pulled over, I get a little panicky, and that's something I'm working on. And I used to look at it as like a really like a weak thing because I have a lot of stems that I hate to be seen, but I'm at a point now I'm using it a lot more as motivation. Anything that I've faced in like really big opportunities that I feel like I'm only here because I'm black. They needed a black person here. Anything like that, it just pushes me to be like, I need to be myself more
yeah.
because these spaces need somebody like me. And good or bad, I'm still here and I can use this opportunity to step off and do something in my own name and my own right.
Good on you. And is there any techniques or tools that you use? For example, I do a lot of meditation and positive thinking. Is there anything that you kind of do to help yourself to build that confidence and your self-belief?
Just do it and then walk away from it. That's the best thing I can say. Because like with posting, I hate posting on Instagram so much, even on my story, even on just my close friends. I overthink every post. So sometimes just have to do it and close out of the app, put my phone down, and just kind of
Relax.
get myself together.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
even on threads right now, where how I met you, I'm trying my best to be like, I don't want to say more outspoken, but just kind of more active. And every post, you feel like daggers. Like I'll post something and nothing, no likes, no nothing. And it kind of hurts a little bit. But then you get on Twitter and it's even worse because it'll be like, or TikTok, a
yeah.
hundred people saw this and nobody liked. So it's just kind of, coming out of that stuff and just putting it out there in the universe and stepping away from it.
And persevering as well and not giving up and just keep doing what you're doing because I'm sure you're making some great moves. Obviously, you've got people like Labyrinth following you, so you must be doing something right.
That is how I have to look at it every time.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, for your future, is there anything coming up at the moment that you'd like to share with the listeners and viewers so they can find your work or your music or anything that you're up to right now?
Yes, I have an album coming out soon. I haven't told anybody a specific date because the date can change.
Yes.
I can move it up or move it back. I'm waiting on a few things to kind of get approved, but I have a date and of course,
Fingers crossed.
um, I have an album. It's called Help I'm Stuck in a Bit. Um, it's very personal, but also hopefully kind of fun to other people. So if I can get any listens on that, if I can get some pre-saves, yeah, that would be a blessing.
Brilliant. And when does that come out? So we don't know a date just yet, but we're going to pencil this in so we can try and get the promotions right on this. So keep us
I'll,
posted when you think it might come out, right?
yeah, within a month from now.
So we'll have this podcast out maybe out in 3 weeks time so we can get that pre-saves in for you. And if the listeners would like to connect with you, follow, or see your work, is there anywhere they can connect with you on social media?
Yeah, I am CerVon, CerVon Campbell. I am CerVon Campbell on just about everything except Instagram. Instagram, I'm stuck with the name Sex Monkey Limo Driver. So that's who I am there.
You won't forget that, would you? Well, I'll leave all the links in
Yeah.
this below as well. And I just want to say thank you ever so much for your expertise, your time today. I've learned so much and I've really enjoyed our chat. And I wish you all the best for your up and coming releases too.
I'm saying thank you. Thank you. I wish you the best with podcasting.
Thank you so, so much. We'll speak again soon. Thank you. Bye.